Oof. Okay. Yeah. That was the thing. That was a adventure to get to this stage. That is the somebody else is looking after the baby, the toddler. One assignment, at least first draft, has been completed, and another one has got to be done before next Sunday. We'll figure it out. That one sucks. That's a take 4 15-minute videos. And I think, like a lot of things in life, that's going to come down to why I hope people who love me are going to give me 15 to 20 minutes of their time, because otherwise it may be a lot more difficult than I hope. You know, you don't want to play sand anymore? No, you're okay. We'll just start with another boom. Anyway, hello, Cleric. It was good to see you. I think there is even a message from Luxie that's like, hey, you going live? Yeah, it's just taking a bit of time. I'm getting there, I promise. Mm-hmm. I fully intend to get here, I swear. Great. Another healing potion. I'm live now. Very good, someone. I swear, I'm not crazy. I swear. I haven't lost my mind. We'll see, right? This is what my house looks like. The tears. It's a 9-hour drive. Good God. Figure out what that might look like if I'm flying or not flying. I'm going to Melbourne in September for my sister's wedding. On the subject of the spies. Huh. My dear Fatebinder, it's a poorly kept secret that Bled and Mark's job is more about killing threats before they become a problem. Official executions are really the minority of his duties. As I understand it, Kairos has long used Bled and Mark as a preventative measure. Since he can move about the world rather freely, he can evade all but the most absurd powers. He's the perfect predator to send against wild talents. I'm sure few in the tiers have ever actually wondered why there are seemingly so few Archons born this far west. I'm sure folks with the potential to be Archons have occurred in the tiers time and time again, but they're usually cut down by Mark before the world hears of them. It's likely safe to assume Mark is his eye on you and has orders to use his own judgment as to when to strike. I've known the old man for ages, and I'd strongly encourage you not to try to appeal to him with overt displays of loyalty. He has no stomach for sycophants. I sincerely believes he thinks every human being is a selfish, twisted knave, and there are those who are lying about it and those who accept that they are. And the third type exists. So yes, I do think Mark will one day have to come for you. As I said, you could always hide or end your life now, but where you're headed, conflict is likely inevitable. So let's get back Kairos' wrath. Dear Mythus, thank you for weighing in on all this. To ask perhaps too obvious a question, if I am such an anomaly, such a threat, why hasn't the Overlord dealt with me right away? An edict, or perhaps a simple request to Bled and Mark would be no small threat. Neither seems to have happened just yet. What is your take on this? Why hasn't Kairos dealt with me? I don't know how long it'll take until this flows back on me. And it will. It almost certainly will. Actually, Cleric, I thought you and Willow will have... Hello, Luxie. Would have disappeared off to festival by now. I am hoping someone has found time to house sit for you. And I don't know when you leave, but have a good trip. However many hours it is. You're back. Did you secure the alloy? Give it here. She opens her palm and regards you with an enthused grin. What do you plan on doing with it? First I'll poke, prod, and otherwise examine it. What comes after that depends on what I find after the poking and prodding. Here. Oh, fantastic! She accepts the alloy and places it on her anvil. Mumbling, she traces her fingers in the air, forming a series of sigils. With rapt attention, Barik watches the smith move about the sample, examining it from several angles. He says nothing, though when the faceplate of his helm shifts towards you, there's an accusation in his eyes. A few other thoughtful sounds follow as she continues her examination. This will do. This will most certainly do. She straightens, nodding vigorously. Placentia brings her hands together in a single sharp clap. It's going to take me a little time to work out the rock's properties, but this is a promising start. I assume that you will be stabbing it with a hot iron rod as well. Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Next weekend. Really? That late? I thought perhaps it was like tomorrow. Spend an additional week. Skip. Of course not. His armor grinds against itself with a growl. What are you worried about? Doesn't Graven Ash protect? I'm not in the mood, Water Witch. Do you let me know when you are in the mood? I have plans for the occasion. Pull up a stool or crate and make yourselves at home. That shouldn't take too long. I think she's going to kill Barik. I'm just going to be without a tank for the rest of the game. That'd be pretty funny. A few hours pass as Lysantia bombards the sample from the blade grave with a combination of hammering and spellwork. She heats it, submerges it in water, shapes it, reads it in lightning, and causes it to levitate in the air. Eventually she pauses, studying the metal and tapping her chin. Find anything? I sure as don't say I did. The alloy absorbs and retains mystical energy, specifically in the form of magical effects. She grins. In theory, a weapon crafted of it could retain its enchantment for decades, at least, maybe longer. What does this mean for Barik? It means your curiosity is sated. It means we can continue our true mission and forget this heretical quest. She's back. You live your entire life in service to Graven Ash and the Overlord. The added burden of this armor is ridiculous. As it should be. I don't suffer this armor because it is just. I suffer it because it is Kairos' will, and I am Kairos' servant, as you have often claimed to be. Unfortunately, separating Barik from his armor may not be as easy as one imagines. Perhaps if I'd gone to immediately after the edict. As is, Barik is as alloyed with his armor as the iron is with the bronze. She gestures towards the sample. Simply put, Ash's ability to shield his shoulders has spread to the armor. Shield his soldiers has spread to the armor, likely due to the edict's power. Each wound taken by soldier and armor are one, the healer's one, with flesh and metal fusing together. She intertwines her fingers. So long as Barik remains under the Archon of War's power, he remains in the armor. The longer he remains in his armor, the more it will become an intractable part of him. That's not encouraging. No, I'd imagine not. At least you have answers. She offers a weak smile. Can we remove the Aegis? Short of the death of Graven Ash or him receding his patronage over Barik, I see no way to free Barik from the Archon's power.
Neither is an acceptable solution. This shell, onerous though it may be, protects me and serves you. Without the great general or the disfavored, I have no purpose.
Oh, come on, you big crybaby. I'm sure there's a siege engine somewhere in need of a counterweight.
See, you've always got a place with us.
How comforting.
Thank you, Lysantia. Please keep searching for a better way. My pleasure, Fatebinder. If I uncover anything of value, I'll dispatch a bird immediately. Oh, Barik.
I was better off not knowing, Fatebinder.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
What are we... By the great general, I speak of the Archon's Aegis. Oh, that the Archon's protection, the very thing to which I owe my life, keeps me imprisoned in this shell.
He shakes his head violently, throwing sparks where his helm meets his cuirass.
Ignorance of how deeply cursed I am was the only blessing remaining me.
Or you could leave the disfavored.
You suggest that as if doing so would not be a betrayal of everything I hold dear, of everything I have striven for in my life. No choice exists here. This armor remains my cage, as Kairos willed. I can accept that. I hope that you can too.
Well, quest completed. The weight of Aegis. And a basket. I think that's where we're going. No, River's Break. That's where we're going for Versus quest. That's what I titled this episode as. We're gonna go deal with Barik and Verse's quests. And then, like, maybe someone else. Arkun Monhas, allow me to address you by such a title before it becomes fashionable to do so. I pride myself as a woman who stays ahead of the trends. Why Kara smites some, but allows others to exist is a question we all ponder. The Overlord can certainly appear arbitrary, and if I've learned anything, that's the point. Kara is as intentionally aloof and distant, both for matters of personal security and because if you had to wrangle the most powerful entities of Taratus, you'd learn to keep them from getting too comfortable. To me, the most obvious answer is that Karas knows exactly what you're doing. She probably approves of your actions and is likely working at every opportunity to create a situation wherein you are acting in your own self-interest while satisfying her ambitions as well. You have to consider one important detail. There's nowhere left in Taratus to conquer now that the tears are in the Overlord's grasp. What would the great generals even do in a time of peace? The voices of Narat is barely tolerable when you have need of a spy master. Why keep such a monster when you no longer have need of such a gruesome weapon? I would argue it is in Kyrus' interest that the tears be a costly invasion that claims the lives of as many Archons as possible. Not enough meat on the tears to keep too many sharks sated very long. Kyrus ordered everyone to take Ascension Hall or die. The or die must have been an unacceptable option, correct? If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say you have the unspoken backing of the Overlord, so like Bled and Mark can't find you whenever he wants. Mythus. Ask about Archons. Dear Mythus, I appreciate the insight and am honored by your vote of confidence. Your missive made mention of Graven Arch and how you've known of him since before he wore the title Archon of War. Can you tell me more of what you've observed of his rise to power? If I am indeed an Archon, it's safe to say I wasn't born knowing what I can or can't do, and it stands to reason I might learn something from the stories of the other Archons.
On it.
This is going to backfire. It's got to. Okay. Dry grass protrudes haphazardly from the threadbare and sun-bleached tunic hanging on this post. The glower planted on the burlap sack head glares down over a rough brass beard. It bears a passing resemblance to a certain Archon of Secrets. The scents of baked bread and vegetable stew mingle in the air. Through the window you can make out a modest dwelling with the kind of order and cleanliness one would expect of a disfavored commandant. Yeah, well, I'm selling all your fruit and water and wine. Hello, Essa. An older woman tends to a small but verdant patch of farm. Plump gourds and vegetables of vine and root vie for soil and light with a fig tree, its branches drooping with what passes for abundance in the tears. The farmer notices your approach and takes up a shovel as if it were a spear, favoring her left arm with a wince. Careful, stranger. I'm no easy mark and have little worth your time or blood. A few arid strands of thick, grey hair, loosed from the band that tames her rest, frames her deeply lined face. Huh. She may be old enough to be my mother, but she holds herself like a warrior trained. We seek Clea. Clea? Clea is my youngest. Why are you asking after her? She lowers the shovel slightly, her eyes widening slightly at the name. Was? Shit, don't tell me we're too late. I'll have you keep a civil tongue in your head, girl, while you're on my land. She jabs her shovel in Verse's direction, as if she could seal the Fury's mouth with it. Sorry, ma'am. Verse blinks in surprise at her own words. You okay? To Verse. Yeah, I'm fine. What happened to Clea? She narrows her eyes, her fingers tightening protectively around the shovel. First things first. Call me Essa, daughter of Vesperia. This is my homestead granted me by Queen Vendrian Alanta in honor of my service. She swings the shovel's head to encompass a small placid house and the abutting field. It's an introduction. You got one to match? She points the shovel back towards you. I'm Monhas, fate binder of Tuna and the Adjudicator. Essa's blue eyes widen in recognition. What business could possibly bring the Queenslayer to River's Break? I came... I'll follow your lead, Verse. I'm sorry, Essa, but Irissa has died. Verse frowns down at her scarred hands and then glances away. Irissa, dear girl. Dear, stupid, blind, foolish, arrogant girl. A sob racks her shrunken frame. How'd it happen? She died in stalwart, aiding the unbroken against the forces of Kairos. It's my fault. I raised those girls on the romance of war, on tales of bloodying the bastard tears and pushing back Azura. How was I to know your armies would come in their lifetimes, that the gates of judgment wouldn't hold, or that you'd stride into the tears with a man of stone who could step clean over a curtain wall? Even girls like mine couldn't stand against Kairos. There ain't been nothing like that northern shadow before, able to crush mountains and call earthquakes from a scrap of vellum. There ain't no fighting that, I told them. They didn't listen. Damn them. Of all the damn fool things I told them, the only thing they didn't hear was what mattered. She shudders out a sigh. A mercenary named Crocus told us that Orisa hunted people for sport, that she displayed their heads on spikes. Crocus, I ain't never heard the name. She pauses, recognition flickering behind her wet eyes. Bald, bearded man, skin the color of bronze and thick as a beastman. I knew him by a different name. Right lazy bastard by my reckoning. The thing he put much effort into is lying his way into a meal and a thong of rings. What justice is there if a man like him lives or my Orissa's met the void? What justice indeed, Fatebinder? Verse holds your gaze. What do you know about Catorius? The sage? Was an older gentleman, smarter than most, like he had the whole Vellum Citadel bouncing around in his head. A tad off in that way magicians so often are, eyes as hungry as a flame. Not sure old and arrogant help us single out one sage from all the others. You said you trained your daughters in the arts of battle? Yeah. Her father was a good man, but more suited to farm work than war. She looks up sharply. If you're looking for someone to blame, I'd be that person. I trained them up. I taught them the falx, javelin, and the spear and shield. And they use that knowledge against your precious archons in their armies. Hey, Essa? Maybe you'd like to shut the fuck up now? Versus lower lip twitches. How'd you teach him about the Overlord? But there's never been a graver threat to all of Taratus. That Kairos represents the worst of all the powers of man or woman. That such an evil must be resisted at all costs, by any means necessary. What? That directly contradicts what you said before. I changed my tune in my older, softer years, but as they growed up, I poisoned them against Kairos as thoroughly as if I carved it on their hearts. You use all this food yourself, or have you sold it to other people in the well? I sold some, for rings and without a Kairos damned license, too. Anything else you want to tell me, Essa? Naming a child for Kairos is a capital offense, ain't it? I imagine naming a pig for Kairos ain't no better. Care to beat Kairos the Overpig? He's around back. You see what's happening here, don't you, Binder? Verse sighs, his shoulders sagging. Come to a decision in this matter. What matter? There's no matter here, Binder. Please tell me you're not going through with this. This is your dance, Verse. Pick the tune. Quiet scraping sound issues from Barik as he watches wordlessly. Really? Verse takes a step back, blinking rapidly. Considering her options, Verse sheathes her weapon and nods. We came here because Orisa, she killed one of my sisters. I always thought I needed to avenge them, to make it right, because I'd failed them. Actually talking to you, it's cleared some stuff up. I guess what I'm saying is I miss my sisters and you miss your daughters, and that's just the way of things. Essa nods numbly, turns and shuffles toward her squat farmhouse. Verse releases a long sigh, bends down, and plucks a round red tomato from a vine. Her thumb slides across its skin and presses lightly into it, dimpling the vegetable. She tosses it from hand to hand and turns to you. There's some uncharacteristic hesitation on your part.
I didn't realize you knew me so well as to say what is and isn't like me.
She smirks and shakes her head.
I enjoy killing, Fatebinder. Doesn't mean I think everyone deserves to die.
Orisa and Clea are dead. What does that mean for your sisters?
I'm sure Whispers would have something clever to say about frustrated ambitions.
Beth shakes her head and chuckles darkly.
You ever have a friend who almost never speaks? But then every once in a while she slips in the perfect word at the perfect time, and it's the only thing you remember. That was 3 Whispers. She was our wiry, flickering shadow with hair like crow's feathers. Preferred close-up work. That was her name, her 3 knives and the sound of air from a punctured lung. It's, hard to remember stories about her because she never drew attention.
And yet,
Her old favorite. That I remember. She'd trick a soldier into gutting his own comrade, then open his throat while he was in shock. Beautiful move, and I saw her dance it a dozen times. Whispers knew her histories and letters, knew borders and houses and heraldry. Even knew a few sigils, and kept us from bleeding out more than once.
she runs a hand over her feathers.
Whispers and me, we were more than sisters sometimes. Not often, and nothing holding. But yeah, she read a body as easy as a scroll.
Sounds nice. Was nice. Let's go.
Let's.
She bites into the tomato. A small bead of juice rolls down her chin. Me, with baby K, trying to feed him peaches at a cafe without spilling it literally everywhere. Failing entirely. Free Whisper stance has been upgraded. Neat. Undaunted. Hidden Truths. Go to the Shattered Bastion. Go to Sentinel Stand. Shattered Bastion sounds, honestly, less like the main quest. Let's go that way. Encounter in the Busted Tier. A group of youths about a dozen years of age are at play just outside a ramshackle farming village. 3 of the youths wield crude knives and axes carved from solid planks of wood. They face off against a team of younger children with scraps of brightly dyed cloth tied to the wrists, ankles, and necks. They eagerly volunteer that they're playing Bane and Raiders. It's a local variation of a game played by children all across Taratus, in which the armed children attempt to sneak some small treasure, and in this case a shard of well-polished clay, out of an area designated the Old Walls without being caught by the opposing team, whose members portray the Bane. Knowing that such games tend to be the most popular in areas where the Bane have recently prowled, you ask the user if there have been any recent sightings. They excitedly informed me that just last week a farmer heard their howling and saw their glow from the direction, the nearby Old Walls. Ignore it. We're not doing that. Let's pursue the Bane. You pick your way across the dry earth towards the nearest Old Walls. There, beneath the ancient masonry, you find nothing. You turn your back on the Old Walls, wondering if perhaps the Bane had returned to the depths from which they came, when the wind picks up and luminescent motes begin to coalesce around you. The glowing arcane energies adopt the form of vicious claws. Oh no, not a fight.
To myself.
Poof, 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 poof. Jeez, alright. Call me fun, honestly.
I will aid you. Take me if you can.
Daze, frightened, stunned. Malice. Scourge. See your flaming there's kill shot, that'll do. Your flaming arrow back in a moment. You continue to do your sweet buff.
Hey! Nobody saw that, right?
Wait my signal.
Oh, that one fucking hurt!
Please, 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 please.
Let us take them together. Nothing stands in our way.
Monhas, he's not doing anything important.
Let me take care of them.
Fall before me!
That sure did
We're
heal
burning with
itself.
total disaster. We aren't doing it. Watch and learn.
Oh.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Let's level up our dual wielder a little bit. We're just having a bit of a bulk. Alright, good job. Yeah, alright, I guess.
Can't do that.
Quote a preeminent AI scholar when I
can't.
asked the question, was that good? Maybe we should visit Boston City and try to spend all this money I've got saved. Find the sage that summoned you. Alright, sure, but what if? The subject of spies. Oh, we're done. Okay. Monhas, is this the sort of question that can get you killed? Very little is known about how Archons are born or come to power. My long life has taught me that Kairos and the Archons prefer it this way. The young and talented remain forever in the dark. The old and mighty can rule without challenge. I heard of Ash. He will always be merely Ash to me. Before Kairos renamed him and gave him his legion, the backhanded title. As a rebel, a grimy, illiterate partisan who was winning battles while his countrymen of the Northern Kingdoms lost left and right. Ash was always a good leader, but he wasn't born able to mystically reach out and protect his soldiers. The earliest mention of it isn't even until the tail end of the Northern Conquest, and if you read the journals, they don't tell stories of grievous harm warded off by Ash's stern looks. Instead, they talk of his soldiers finding their fears and doubts lifted from them by Ash's presence. Careful reading suggests the ability to actively protect physical harm came years later, as that bond grew and, more importantly, as his legend grew. That legend part is the key detail. In my understanding, an Archon's power is something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The widespread perception of an Archon's power is the very thing that strengthens an Archon's power. So in Ash's case, he had some early inkling of a power, the ability to assuage the burdens of his men. And as he took on a mantle of power and became known all around Taratus as the next Archon of war, it soon became the ability to bear the physical burdens of his men, not just their fears and doubts. Thus my advice to you is to act like an Archon. Take power where you can find it. Foster fear, foster love, never walk through life anonymously, but rather live in the thoughts of your followers, and in the anxieties of your enemies. Dismissive of his archive. Well, well, well. Find Sage L. Though this may once have been the entrance to what passes for a grand estate in the Tiers. The little remains of it now, but shattered ruins. Hey, numbing agent. Don't mind if I do.
That.
Don't mind if I do.
Can't do that.
Oh, Warbler. Oh, great. Rolls the Butcher. The crimson-clad gang before you has yet to announce your presence, yet to notice your presence. Their focus rests solely on the balcony above, where a broad-shouldered man in battle-worn armor shouts out at them. Who goes there? Who goes there? You know who we are, boss. Remain silent. Apologies, stranger. He puts a hand to his brow as if shading his sight. I can't make you out from this distance. I hardly know the voice of every child in the Tiers. A gentle babble of laughter filters down from above. Wonderful. Rolls the so-called butcher. Keep listening to him. Child? For fuck's sake, Rolls, let us in already. I'm sorry, is that you, Warbler, with your pretty voice and mistook you for a little girl? Yes, boss, it is I, Warbler and our faithful crew. We've returned from a successful raid, catch in hand. What's that? You here to raid us? Hear that? Javelins, take aim. What? Fine, if you're in a mood and want to play stupid games, I'll just divide the spoils without you. Oh, Warbler, we're having such good fun without you. Why did you have to make things so serious? There are a few things we never joke about in this gang, like sharing. Are you shitting me? What's that you say? You want me to shit on you? It doesn't seem very clean, Wobble, but if that's what you want. Another round of laughter from the other chorusman. Need you seek further evidence of the chorus's culpability for the problems at Vendrian's well, Fatebinder? Keep listening. Everyone down here thinks this is really funny, boss, but we'd really like to sit by the fire and have a decent meal. I don't think you're getting in here, Warbler. Were you planning on taking the fort from us? Keep listening. What? Don't put words in my mouth, you sallow sack of cock cheese. I can talk to you however I desire, and if you can't take it, you aren't tough enough to run with our gang. In fact, I think we're overdue for a display of your worth. Test of our worth? We just spent 4 days sacking the countryside for you. Now let us in already. Keep listening. I don't recall ordering a raid. No doubt you've been recruiting your own gang and are here to defy me. Well, your mutiny ends here. Mutiny? I've been loyal. My crew's been loyal. How dare you? Then who are your reinforcements? Rolls points a finger at you. Or did you let your enemy shadow you back home? Either way, wrong move. Huh? Looks back at you, eyes widening. Who the... Where did you come from? It's the Fatebinder of Tunin, idiot. You know, the master of Mountain Spire. His attention focuses entirely on you. Though now I'm curious, if the Warbler didn't come crying to you, what brings you way out here? Fate binding? This must be the legendary Fatebinder sense of humor. Look, I'm more than happy to help you with whatever task the Archon's got you doing, but first I need your help dealing with the idiots down there. He points from the balcony at Warbler and his gang. A legend like you wouldn't even break a sweat telling them. Are you fucking kidding me? I've broken no law, just done what my boss told me. Stow it. The only meaningful law in the chorus is not suffering the weak. And you're weak. Fatebinder here's just gonna thin the herd a bit. He meets your eye, ain't you? Work this out among yourselves. You're not gonna help, at least stay out of our way. Run along, Fatebinder. Deal with the Scarlet Chorus.
I got it.
Resting his hand near his blade, Warbler offers a wary smile. So, I don't suppose you could not kill me? Fatebinder, you're back! Rolls beams down at you. I hope you're going to show these pups what real blade work looks like, from the inside. What does that even mean? Means you're going to get stabbed, you peace-fondling flea brothel. I'd rather not get into the middle of your dispute. Lower the ramp and we'll talk. And then let them follow you up? No way. Lower the ramp, or when I get up there, I'm going to show you your own intestines. I'm up here, and you're down there. I've heard a lot of stories about you, Fatebinder, but the ability to sprout wings and fly was not one of them. How do you think I got to the top of the spire? You know, I hadn't thought about it. He shakes away the thought. Come on, Fatebinder, kill a kid and give us a show. Prepare yourselves. Let the blood flow, Fatebinder. He claps happily, and his compatriots cheer your title. So long, Warbler. We won't miss you in the slightest. What did I do?
It's a battle!
I literally have no other option. I probably do have another option if I, like, spend a bit more time on it or something. Kill shot.
You got it.
Okay.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Ready? How did it work?
No.
Hit harder than that.
Sorry there for a second, but they're all very injured and we're okay, so...
Count on it.
Absolute thing of beauty. Show me a fool who says the law dogs are all bark, and I'll set them straight. Looks back at his men. Let's get this ramp down for our esteemed colleague of the court. The screeching grind of metal on metal, the ramp pivots toward the lower floor. Bloodhound leathers. Jeez, alright. Extra armor, extra slash armor, extra pierce armor. Seems pretty good, actually. Welcome to your new armor. Here you go.
Yes.
Why did you drag me into your petty chorus bullshit? Captive Oathbound's head rests between his knees, his figure motionless save for slow breathing. Frankly, Fatebinder, I had a bit of the nervous knees when you showed up, but you spilling warblers in his down shows me where you stand. I think you and I could establish quite a mutually beneficial relationship if you've got a mind for it. I don't care about you, I'm looking for someone. Here, our presence tends to ward off most visitors, but only Karos knows for sure what comes in and out of the nearby cave. So a couple of years back, Ken came through and toppled this place with half an effort. He split the ground, ruined this here manor, and even cracked open the mountains while he was at it. So we didn't give a lot of thought to the cave when we first came up here, because who gives a lot of thought to a hole in the ground, right? The two of Warbler's kids wanted to go poke around inside and never came out. Sent in another two after them, we never saw them again either. I don't know if something's taken up residence in the cave or if Can unleashed something from the depths, but I can't exactly start building an army to shake the tears if I've got that shit at my back. I collapsed the entrance. An army to shake the tears? Yeah, this gang here is just a start. Now that we're fighting in disfavor, this war's getting interesting again. I need to do my part to help the chorus succeed. He smiles. Besides, it's our rule that the strong lead and the weak follow. Given my strength, it would be insulting the Archon by not gathering the largest gang I can muster. What does the voices of Norat think of all this? You know, I haven't asked. The idea of something coming up out of that cave to eat us while we sleep has gotten no more attractive at the time. That's where you come in. Get that cave open, kill whatever's lurking in there, you can come and go through this fort as you please. Set up camp here for all I care. And if it goes well enough, maybe we find other ways to help each other out. How am I supposed to open a collapsed cave? Don't know, that's why I need your help. Fatebinder's no magic, right? I'll clear out the cave for you. Since you're assisting us, feel free to take a look around the place for anything that might help. Anything my crew isn't carrying or nailed down is fair game for you to swipe. His smile widens, displaying a bit too many of his crooked teeth. Good luck. Fucking awesome. Man bound before you wears this flavored violet, crusted with patches of dried blood, the faint blue light of an earthbound scout sigil shimmering unsteadily through a thick layer of brine. He watches you, reproach from under a lowered brow, his features sunken and dark. His right eye socket seems a bit darker than his left, as if he heals a near-healed bruise. The sour scent of mingled sweat and urine wafts from him. Fatebinder, he rasps and clears his throat. Apologies, haven't had occasion to say much today. You recognize me. Could hardly forget that Fatebinder turned harbinger, could I? I'm so called Hyrax, son of Hyperia, oath brother of Marek, currently attached to the Fifth Boreal. No idea why you left that lout rolls alive, though. He shifts against his bonds, wincing. Remedy that, I'll provide you the intelligence I've found since I got here. The intelligence what people died for. I'm surprised Rolls left you alive. He struck me as a liability. He strikes you as a smart man, he snorts. I assure you I'm the better friend if you're willing to make a deal. I'll see what I can do. He nods mutely. Ew. I don't like this guy. I'm gonna kill him. I don't know if it's the most appropriate decision, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Actually, I'm here to kill you. You're siding with them? Fuck, Tom's Mag has got this law dog ass lick.
This will be fun. Not a problem. Shit, 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 shit!
That is the best response to the I have received the fire condition. I have received the on fire condition. Oh yeah, how'd you know? The voice line went shit, 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 shit. That is a very valid response to being set on fire. I can get free if we do it here. I really need you to deal with this fucker, because they're dealing a lot of damage. Stance 2, 3 whispers, 30 dodge, and 10 accuracy. Red geyser.
You got it.
You'll have to hit
Yeah,
harder.
that's not going to turn out particularly well for them. Sorry, Ab.
Will do.
There's something profoundly wondrous in outliving your enemies. He grins, something feral in the way his lip curls over his eye teeth. Get these ropes off of me and I'll tell you why I'm at. You got that backwards. Tell me what I want to know and then I'll free you. He says nothing for a moment, scrutinizing you with narrowed eyes. Fine. My team wasn't the first Iron Guard Akalos sent to this estate. The other never reported back. We were dispatched to recover whatever was left of them, but we found precisely nothing. No gear, no evidence of the fight, nothing that seemed a sign left for other disfavored to find. Then Rolls hit us, at night, by surprise, like a motherless coward. We'd set watch, obviously, but one of his mages did something to Korax that kept him from calling out. It's the pain of him burning that woke me and the others. The only reason we were able to kill the chorus when we did. He shudders and releases a sigh. No one else survived. Only the General's grace saved me. We canvassed the area pretty thoroughly before Rolls showed up. The only place we'd stayed out of was the cave in the back. That hole scared Rolls shitless though, so he closed it up. It looks towards the jumbled pile of stone to the north. Wish we'd gotten a chance to check in there for the first crew. Then at least I'd have something to take back to Iron Hearth. That's all I know. That's what I know. They want to get me out of these ropes? I'll take care of these bonds for you. Hey, thank you, Fatebinder. Hyrax straightens as you release him, then stretches, his joints cracking loudly. He scowls at his arms, which are obviously badly broken and have healed, twisted by his bonds. I appreciate the aid. You know what I know, Fatebinder. I need to return to Iron Hearth and report in. Looks at his arms and get these limbs straightened out. No enjoyment in that, I promise, but at least it'll distract me from everything else. Safe travels, soldier. Farewell, Fatebinder. With a final glance at you, the Oathbound walks away.
Will do.
The chorus collapsed the entrance to this cave, blocking it with huge slabs of heavy stone. Clearing it by hand would be the work of a span or longer. Spellbinder! Yeah, I mean, very reasonable. I'm not surprised.
Can't do that.
Honestly, I figured that is potentially at least part of the inspiration.
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, you can. Go all the way around and open that crate. No, I haven't. Sorry. Was it good? Worth it? Committed to at least starting to try ER, but I'm not going to until after I've caught up with this episode of Critical Role that was released on Friday. Episode 19 was
Can't do that.
incredible. 20, which I've started, was pretty good.
Sorry.
Like, the schemer's table is moving faster than I expected. as in things are actually happening, and it's good. I do occasionally think, is D&D the right choice for this?
Sorry, I can't.
You know, whatever. Gwyneth! I mean, it did great for the soldiers. A group of unkempt, filthy commoners huddle among a motley of barrels and boxes. The heavy stenches of sweat, stale food, and grass cling to the still air. The presumptive leader of the group stands as you enter and moves towards you, weapon in hand. Oh, Critical Role Season 4, run by Brendan Lee Mulligan, you already know that. It's divided into 3 groups because they have, like, 16 people? I don't know. We're gonna... No, not 16. It's a large number. Maybe 12. Yeah, 12. That's ridiculous, but yeah. And it's divided into 3 groups that are roughly aligned to what the players, not the characters, want to do with their game as part of Critical Role. The soldiers group is... that's what they've stated, but it does kind of seem like it's divided into where people went at what time. They've run asynchronously, but aligned to a timeline. And soldiers were first. They were set as a rollicking, bog standard D&D game. You go somewhere on a quest with a lot of combat involved. It's still run by Brendan Lee Mulligan, so like there's a lot of NPC work. There's a lot of character work, world building, and reasons for it, but they have a focus on the mechanical challenge of Dungeons and Dragons as a combat game, which is where its strengths lie. That's funny because it doesn't do that incredibly well, but you know, I mean, they use miniatures, so fair enough. Next came the Seekers, and the players were, as dictated, interested in understanding the cosmology, mythology, and secrets of the world. Their main motivation is to find out lore and interesting tidbits and how that relates to their characters. So it's not just a lore dump, though some criticisms are levied at the Seeker's table that you're getting like pages of lore read out by Brennan. Oh, excuse me a moment. Yeah, sleepy baby. All right. What was I saying? Seekers, yeah, you get pages of lore from Brennan, but it's like it'd suck if it wasn't delivered to different characters, and because it's delivered to different characters and in different ways, coming in different tones and like from different places, and that means that some information is incorrect and some information is correct. The amount of work that's gotten into, I don't know the setting's actual name, that area is enough to be like, oh fuck, man, I'm interested in just understanding the world building. So, yeah, points to it, right? That's the Seekers. There's some cosmology, some big cosmology stuff's been going on, but it's like grounded in that the political groups that are mentioned are the ones doing shit that they're responding to. And they're learning cosmology because the things they're doing shit TM with, like, has law ramifications. And, like, how does this work? Why is this working? That's where the law dumps are coming in. You know? Stuff's happening. Could be worse. And finally, the schemers table was what is jokingly known as the party with day jobs, because all of those characters have their own responsibilities and shit they need to do, so they can't leave the like home city of Dalmatia. They've got their day jobs to get to. Like one of them's the bursar of the local wizards university, who was set up as like a group for impoverished urchins and artisans and nerds who have learned like the fundamental words of power for magic via a methodology that isn't sorcery. Sorcery being like most of the royalty or the noble houses and families. So like these are the revolutionaries, but they're doing it by being massive fucking nerds. I wonder if Brennan I wonder if Brennan has read political theory. Anyway, that's one of them. The other one is like uh an ancient artifact that has gained sentience and is worn and takes over the bodies of people that wear it. And yeah, minor spoiler, you learn about it in like episode 3. Um, who's like a very relatively high up member of a museum. He's got a job. He has to do that shit every day. He can't just go on an adventure. But he is still seeking to undermine the political machinations of, again, the shitty um, noble houses who are doing shitty things. Like privatizing the military service, which is bad, obviously bad. And one of the characters is like a lieutenant, I think, in magic police. As in, they are paladin sorcerers, and their main job is to use detect magic and go, that's using magic to hurt people, we're going to stop that. They're still cops, but they're very clearly, we're not the privatized cops, so that could be worse. It doesn't hurt that that character is played by a very beautiful man. Very beautiful man who cries. So I am smitten, baby. Next step, we get like a bit of fan art of him at half health, bloodied. Maybe looking up. You know, I'm on board. And a theater patron, a bard who is running a theater. Anyway, they've got. It's not Liam. Liam's the bard. No, it's Luis Carrazzo. It's fucking gorgeous. To the point. I'm sending the image to Discord. Like Liam is doing great, absolutely, as Helendale Fang. I also feel like I'm missing someone, but I don't remember. Very pretty. Yeah. Anyway, and Emma's like, you know, he's gay, right? I had to say no, and that means I have a chance. Let's go. Flying all the way to Los Angeles. Let's get this man. Laurie Bolaire as an A. And Hallandale. I think that's the 4 of them actually. Anyway, the day job table have had their episode 2 and I've seen episode 1. That was exciting. And that's 20 of however many in this like central arc. And it's cool. Anyway. We gotta pick favorites so far. Schemers. Favorite character. Wakanda. There you go. A group of unkempt. No, I've read that. The approaching woman's olive cheeks seem drawn and sallow. Dark circles shadow eyes that survey you before searching over your shoulder. Seemingly reassured by her brief inspection, she lowers her weapon slightly so that it's not pointed directly at your chest. Her muscles remain taut, however, her stance that of a veteran soldier ready to respond to the first sign of aggression. Distracted, let me make up for the ADHD thing here. Liam is in many scenes with Luis Corazzo, and they do have brotherly, no, they have affection, intimate affection. Is it sexual? I don't know. I'm sure there are fics that are sexual, and we'll see if they're good. Oh my god. Oh my god. Incredible. You didn't bring the chaos in. You didn't bring the chorus in with you. And if you were disfavored, you'd have loudly bragged about your pedigree already. So that leaves me wondering, just who are you? Monhas, Fatebinder of Tunin, and you are? A Fatebinder. Fantastic. I don't suggest it's anything but. You here to kill us? Or convince you to keep our presence secret from those chorus madmen? You still haven't told me who you are. She blinks rapidly. Right, I haven't. The name's Gwyneth. I'm the guide for this little band. Used to be more. Used to be a mercenary, but no one's offering coin for a blade anymore. If you weren't born north of the gates of judgment, there's nothing for a warrior save a cloth of crimson or a mass grave, red or dead, as they say. She sighs. So I stopped warring, more or less. What do you want exactly? We need to get back inside the mountain. We'd come out. She falls silent for a moment, and a slight shudder runs through her. We'd come out to scavenge for supplies. When we got back, we found crimson arseholes crawling all over the place. You live in a cave. Well, it wasn't our first choice of homes, but we've taken shelter in a nearby cave. While we were out looking for supplies, these chorus goons somehow buried the cave entrance with rubble. We could excavate a path, but not with these chorus spears prodding our rears while we dig. Help us be rid of the scarlet shit stains and we'll scrounge up appropriate recompense. They're no longer a problem. She takes a deep breath and exhales. That's a real relief and a half. There was always the chance we'd get stuck out here, that the mountains would move again, or Karasabid Khan would come back to finish what it started. So Wag, one of our specialists, he cooked up an alchemical compound named Ocean's Fire. Burns as fast and hot as a Wraithcaster spell. Set correctly, it'll clear the cave entrance out in an instant, but if it gets bumped wrong, say by some idiot chorus conscripts, we all meet the void well chart. Give me the Ocean Fire, I'll see you to the cave entrance. Her sigh reveals profound relief, and she accompanies it with a nod. Thank you. Please be extraordinarily careful with it. You don't want to be within 20 paces when the paste meets the air. Hunker down behind some rubble up top and lob it at the cave entrance. She reaches into one of the crates and pulls forth an unpainted clay pot. She tosses it to you with extreme gentleness, and you note that its lid is sealed with a thick ring of melted wax. Oh, and, don't miss. Well, well, well. Thanks for all the stuff. Explosions? So mind if I do? Hey guys, I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch Critical Role since Friday because I was 1 at work and 2 doing an assignment. I'm hoping the workday tomorrow is not too taxing. And I can spend some time watching Critical Role. It may be taxing, given I wrote a very hefty email. It includes similar phrases very similar to, "Are you sure that's a requirement? Our enterprise agreement says that it's not a requirement. Do you want to be in breach of our EA?" I just want work to not be so difficult. I want to do things. I want to do lots of things. I want to be very busy and very proud of the work I'm achieving, but I want the things I want to do. I want the things I'm doing to not feel like they have 400 stupid steps. Yeah, I'm sorry, Loxy. It sucks, you know? And I mean, there's a big success that I'm not going to go into too much detail in that has made some work easier. It's revealed some other difficulties. Use Ocean Fire. Expose the jar of Ocean Fire to the air, starting its ignition progress. Work points and work streaks! Ah, wouldn't that be impressive? Yeah, that would work on me for some time. Until I inevitably mess up, right? And then... and then, break the streak and go, oh, fuck it. I don't give a shit anymore then. It's like exercise streaks with my watch, similar. I'm like... Alright!
Quiet down.
Jeez. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get full exercise every day this month. Day 9. streak broken, or because I'm sick a lot of the time, and then fuck. Oh well, we'll try again next month. Streaks. Luminescent mushrooms dot the cavern's floor, emitting a disquieting glow without providing much in the way of illumination. Hill Strider. I wish I had my beast person. In fact, let's go get him. Let's go get him. We'll just wander over to Aspire. We haven't taken Stalks and Shadow or whatever her name is, like out at all. So let's add it to the party. I sure wish there was a way to do this that didn't take going back to the fucking tower, right? I know that's intentional. I've alt-tabbed. I'll show you what I'm Googling. Tyranny party size mod. Gather your party. The maximum party size is increased to 7. Ta-da! Great. We're doing it. Is it gonna break everything? Probably. That's the fastest way? Alright. Save game. New save. Exit the desktop. Download mod. Bipindex. Bibbis? New and existing saves. Lovely. All companion comments, conversation fixes. More well-known encounters. Lovely. Bipindex. Nope. Okay. Bipindex. Configure back to Tyranny. Bipin. Most popular modding tools. Yeah, that makes sense. Lovely. Tyranny. Bipin. Sorry, Bipindex is apparently a really funny phrase because it's sticking in my head really high. Bipindex. Jeez, okay. Do you know, just extract into the game folder. Whoops! DOS.config when HTTP. Move the contents of Bepinet's packs Tyranny into Tyranny. Well, fuck you. I mean, what do you mean? Move into a folder to extract from the game folder. Move the contents of this folder. You mean the one you gave me? Into... Okay, so I did put it in the right place. Fuck you. Art book, data, game. Cool. I've got some of those missing. They're all placed in the Steam app. Okay, they're all there. Lovely. Sweet. Frequency world map encounters. Yeah, we do like that. Stuff happens in them. A bit of an X. Bit of an X. Plugins. Cool. Oh, you know that I don't pay for mods now. Jeez. Interesting. Use this mod before all companion comments. Okay. Solve the mod's BIP and X fault. Next folder for executable. Boop. This conversation folder. Data, 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 design. Override existing files. Conversations. Yes. One's localized folder. Data, data exported. There you go. All active components will share any available comments whenever possible. Yes, please. Then we'll have all of them as well. Just gather your party before venturing forth. Hey, look. There's one after conversation fixes. Great. Companion comments. Yeah, we go. Phoenix. Log in. What was that? Conversation is data design. Place. Lovely. Next, gather your party. Great. Good job, everybody. While we're here, Tyranny. Mods, there are 37 of them. Readability project. No, we're fine with that. Minor miscellaneous. What is this? Off? Pass through Claire silently. I find increments you get in attribute points. So, you know. Okay. So it remembers if you. Whenever you glare. Okay, that's funny. That's one of the things. Funny XP numbers, that's cool. Bag of treat Unity mod manager. This is a common one. Right a world. That'd be nice. I'm not downloading Reshade. Last time I downloaded and attempted to run Reshade, it bricked the game I was running. So we're not doing that. Bipinix! It didn't crash. I alt tabbed. Box Cloud is not support affected by side is found. False positive. That's fine. Cool. Display captions off. Game running. Unpause.
Right.
Alright, D2. Siren, get in the party. Kills in shadow. I was
Good day, Fatebinder.
Siren nods
What
to
do
you.
you need?
Like you to come with me, Siren.
Well then, let's go. If you're gonna teach me the wonders of the world, it's not gonna happen here.
Mission accomplished. Thank fucking Christ, right? Attack and ability strength. Okay. Oh, now it costs 2 to level up. Okay. Maybe let's not. Probably have more, like, health, right? Completely min-maxing is a bit pointless. Let's not do that. Because in shadow. Ravager or Titan? Well, let's get Ravaging, baby. While low on health, right? Improves on damage. Great. Bonus to experience, sure. Moderately improves on damage. Significantly improves. Is the attack distance. Thick hide. It's just like increasing passives. Just get passives. All of the passives. Natural weaponry. I actually want that one. There you go. Cool. Great! Will it make the game more difficult? The opposite. What's the status of your research? I'm happy to say I've made great progress. He beams at you and exhales a welcome breath. Allow me to show you my findings. 10 scrolls. Plans. Scales of mercy. The sages of your library combed through ancient scrolls, searching for hints of items of power. They found a few fragments that mentioned a set of scales that were said to tip the balance of any battle. These ancient scales were known as the Scales of Mercy. The sages believe that an expert smith may be able to recreate the Scales of Mercy. I'll take it. Thank you. New Spire Forge plan available. Great, I don't have a Spire Forge. I need more fucking forges first. God damn it. Maintenance costs going up. Anyway, that was good. Let's get out of here. Oh, I'm so glad we did it. Shadow Bastion. Oh, max party members. More encounters. I love modding. Don't you? Yeah, shimmers around you. The trees along the path shuddering, shrinking, and sprouting arms as trunks split into legs. An arcane illusion realized and in its place, men and women in soot-dusted clothes, quill tucked into hats, and jars of acrid-scented potions hanging from their belts. A young woman steps forth, her right eye a massive burn scars, her left narrowed at you in abject loathing. The school of ink and quill is not done with you, Binder, she spits. The Vellum Citadel remembers what others forget. Mere death would be too merciful for you, Firestarter. Your actions demand complete erasure, to be burned away as so much lore has been by your hand. Her fingers flicker before her, catching arcane energy up in ancient sigils. Prepare to be forgotten. Speak to them. Your hands near your weapons. You consider your words carefully. Attempt lore. Diffuse the situation. Hands empty, you speak to the historians in the quiet, even tones of a scriptorum. The tension in their muscles visibly lessens as you explain to them that the respect you have for knowledge. You work to preserve what you can, but recognize the inevitability of the Overlord's conquest. As they start nodding, you tell them that if they seek a new place to belong, they should come to you at your spire. They bow and back off, melting again into the foliage. Sage's Guild. Gain average favor. Well, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty great. I love that. Sage's Guild. Yeah, they're still very unhappy. So, like, we've got... Could I get a little more wrath? As well as favor? Nothing? 6% melee damage. You killed a bronze brother, told you. Yeah, I sure did. Multiple times, let me tell you. Fuck those guys. It's favorite and I'll play Scarlet Chorus. They don't hate us nearly as much, you know. Stone Sea. Lantry likes me, it's pretty good. Barik likes me, he's also afraid. Verse likes me, is also afraid. Ebb likes me, not that afraid yet. I think I lost that because I gave him permission to study. Whoops. Kills in the shadow. Anyway. Fucking Siren. We haven't had her out nearly long enough. Disappointing. Anyway. Let's kill some shit. Let's adventure. Let's go into this dungeon. Focused. Neat. Formation. Well, that's not going to work, is it? Look at that. That'll do. Cool. The shadows shift before you in hulking masses of darkness. As they step closer, the pale luminescence of the cave fungi highlights blunt, bony features. Lips curl back over yellow fangs and violet gums, and sinewy muscles tighten as the beast's clawed fingers spread open. Another human. The largest of the figures steps forward, revealing herself as a heavily muscled beast woman covered in rust-colored fur. Her yellow gaze narrows intensely upon you, nostrils flaring to drink in your set. Does new human offer man-flesh to Hillstrider's pack? Crying leather-clads offer more bone than meat. Make short meals for beast woman. Estrive.
Alpha, but reeks of seed salt.
And Kills in Shadow sniffs at the gathering of the beasts.
These whelps reek of the old walls. Can Fatebinder not smell it on fur?
You rate the people who came before? Beast women waste no meat, not even human meat. She scratches her belly with a satisfied grin. They opened a cave for you. Seems to me you wish that some gratitude is in order. Does human think moving stone should make Hillstrider ache with rotting desire? She chuffs, heavy dugs, bobbing with her laughter. Beast woman has seen strength of many in great acts of war and hunt, is not so easily impressed. You will let us through, or we will tear your arms from your sockets and cobble boots of your hides. She takes a step back and dips her head lower than her shoulders. Hillstrider knows gratitude. If human cleared path stones, then Hillstrider supposes human may pass. Her packmates step to either side, opening a path. Giving the beast long, hostile stares, Kills in Shadow snorts and chuffs at the pack as she follows in your wake.
Sorry, I can't.
Thank you, Hillstrider. Oh, the map's just this big. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Old walls down here. This isn't on any map I've ever... Oh, wait. We're not alone here.
How many people are hiding in these old walls?
Accessory slots only. Okay, well. Fair enough. We've got none to spare. Who is the juggler? Weighted. Spikes on the forearm. Barik can't wield them. You've got the juggler's gloves. Range checkings. Yeah, that's right. We put the sigil of Tyrannus on her. Huh. Cool, but not relevant. Placenter's spine. Control emotions. Give her a spine. She'll carry a spine. That'll do for now.
Should we take bets on brave or stupid? My rings are on stupid.
Ah, it's break time. Outsiders, run! I mean, okay. Find the leader of the refugees. Iron woman. Jeez. Fuck. Cool shit. Let's just take a quick little save here. A little save, and then we'll be back in 15 minutes. See you soon. Hello. I'm back. Welcome back. 30 ml Campari, 30 ml vanilla vodka, dash of citrus bitters, a lot of ice. Bastards Negroni. As
Can't do
in,
that.
not actually a Negroni. Fatebinder, how did you... welcome. Fatebinder, good day to you. Young man greets you with a smile, as distant shouts reverberate throughout the area, steadily growing in volume. As you might have observed, your presence comes at a bit of a surprise. It's an unexpected pleasure, I mean, to receive an esteemed servant of the court. He bows a bit stiffly, revealing a row of multi-shaped quills along his back. Sage Lantry, how did you... What are you doing here?
I could ask the very same of you. Taking shelter in the old walls, that takes nerves of iron or wits of stone.
Are you an idiot?
There's running water. If you don't mind a Bane attack now and again, this isn't the dumbest place to hide.
Do you mind a Bane attack now and then?
Scent of banest distance. Many beasts nearby. Explains why humans not terrified to be in old walls.
Well, this is unexpected. Though I'm glad to see you alive, my young friend. I'm not here to reminisce. I'm with the Fatebinder now, so I'll need to insist that you start explaining whatever it is you're doing here.
Hilariously, this is not the L who has been signing letters from a sage. This is Mel. I am Scribe Mel of the Vellum Citadel. Formerly of, I suppose I should say. You weren't here to... Kyrus have another edict in store for us. Does he? He taps a long quill against his thigh, its feather plume fluttering nervously in return. I figure if that were the case, I'd be waist deep in lava as we speak. The sage concludes with a half-hearted chuckle that tapers into terrified silence. What's all the commotion about? Visitors are always cause for alarm. Moreover, you aren't just any outsider, you're a Fatebinder. To many, it's as if Tunan just strolled into our homes. Your dispensation of justice could have profound ramifications for a little-known and technically hidden settlement such as ours. Some of the refugees here don't know your intentions. No doubt they have little to fear, right? What is this place? I struggle with the definition myself, truthfully. We call this place the Bastard's Wound. Or just the Wound, for short. It's a refuge of sorts, a haven for folks displaced by war and poor decision-making. Everyone has here discovered this place by chance, but remains by choice. The decor is unorthodox, to be sure, but it does come with the benefit of extreme seclusion. Not that we object to the court's presence or that of the Archons. We simply thought it best to unburden you of all the weight of governance. I know you have better things to do than check up on us. We're fine. Really. Everything is fine. You look past the scribe, taking note of the details in this cavernous area. Giant stone walls flank the space and ascend to an open sky, seemingly shorn apart from one another. Thunderous waterfalls cascade down, nearly ringing the stone-tiled islands that comprise the settlement. Though covered by damp moss and man-made tents, the stone architecture here is unmistakably of the old walls. Why are you all here? Entry into the old walls is forbidden. Of course, I can see why things might appear that way. He stammers, running his hands clumsily over the scrolls along his bandolier. He snatches one from its loop and taps at it nervously. If you look at this drawing of the area, we are by way of several fathoms below the old walls you see rising up. So who's to say if we're in the old walls or really just underground? I mean, other than a Fatebinder, of course. I merely mean to suggest that there's some potential ambiguity as to whether we've really done anything wrong. Examine the parchment. Sketched upon the crumpled parchment is a cross-section of what appears to be the old walls running through the mountainous region of the Bastard Tier. If this map is accurate, these old walls run almost entirely under the mountains. The upper reaches of these old walls are just a few stories above the valley floor. Judging from the map, the old wall slopes upward as it travels north, and slopes downward as it heads south. The permissibility of the settlement depends on upon its contributions to the court and its officers. Yes, yes, of course, absolutely. He nods, and with nothing to say, nods again. Oh, you mean right now? Well, I can certainly provide modest contribution. He raffles through his patches, clumsily searching for a suitable offering. I don't use rings as often as we did on the surface, so it may take me a moment. He loosens a pouch and jams his hand inside. Ha! You are Fatebinder. We appreciate your generosity, Fatebinder. I hope that you will come to appreciate the wounded time. No doubt you have many questions of us. I shall do my best to acquaint you with this outpost. Is there anything I can help you with? What do you do here? What don't I do? Someone has to inventory the supplies, take census, ledger trades. It's all pretty unexciting, I assure you. I happen to like playing steward. Balancing numbers is easy for me, and I have more responsibilities than I ever did as a scribe at the Citadel. Aren't you a bit young for a sage? If I were a tenured sage, that may well be true, but I'm just an apprentice. Many in the guild scribe for decades before attaining rank. As the school is no more, I suppose I'll never officially be counted among the sages, but I am making my contributions to knowledge in my own ways. My master thinks similarly, though I think the loss of the school means more to her. Had a few years to know the other sages, she had a few decades. Where is your master? Master Lexiam is sadly not amongst us. She vanished into the lower levels some time ago. She wasn't herself. She furrows his brow. He furrows his brow, visibly distressed. Life here is rather complicated, and the old walls bless us with numerous mysteries. One of those is the unending sleeplessness and affliction that drove her mad. Lexiam? She's alive? So she just survived the Edict of Fire? Lantry's eyes widen with surprise, and you hear the clinking of files as his entire body trembles. Gave the sages fair warning, glad to know someone listened. Sage Lexiam and I go way back. She joined the school a year before I did, so we've more or less ran the paces together. She's alive, and she tried to find me. Did you try to contact all the other sages you thought were alive? Right. Well, try not to cloud the skies with missing birds. That would just give the enemy something to follow. Like me, she probably tried to avoid detection, not light a signal flyer. Are you two rivals or friends? Both? You're a chronicler, so there was a competition of sorts, but I think I'm allowed to say we got along well enough. Not that many of my friendships survived my politics. I was in favor of surrendering the school to Kairos, hardly a popular outlook. Last I know, she went into the depths of the old walls. To me, that's a death sentence, especially if she's no longer able to work her magic. I'm so sorry. I wish you'd stumbled upon us sooner. Perhaps you could have reconnected with her. Her mind was dwindling, and I know she was fixated on making sure everything she carried out of the Vellum Citadel was hidden and safe. She and I hid one such cache over by the farm. The others are, I presume, deeper in the old walls. Except new and old sage trick that conceals the stashes, making them fade from view unless another chronicler stands near. When her magic began fading, she made a rush to conceal things, but aside from the one stashed in the farm, only she knows where the rest lay. Who's in charge here? Unfortunately, it's a matter of debate at the moment. For a while, two men in particular led this settlement, Tidecaster Wagstaff, who's been here the longest, and Forgebound Master Jaspos. They made it possible to survive here, but rarely see things eye to eye. Were the conditions here not so fragile, I'm fairly certain, they would have come to blows ages ago.
Wait a second, Tidecaster Wagstaff? Is that what you said?
Yes, the sage pauses to give Ebb a head to look. Head to look? That's a phrase that sounds real, but I've never heard it before. That's fascinating. And nods with a knowing smile. I believe Wagstaff will be most amused to see another Tidecaster. He's been here as long as any. Most of the folk credit him with making this whole place possible.
Oh, I'm sure this will be amusing.
There's another Tidecaster alive, yet you seem largely disinterested.
Of course, because all us Tidecasters sleep together in a big clamshell made of solid moonlight. Look, I'm glad Wagstaff is alive and well. I'm just curious why this fucking coward didn't join us in our battle against Kairos. I'm curious to hear what he's been doing that made it impossible for him to join the rest of us in battle. I'm just angry that I can't play my last Tidecaster ever argument as to why I'm amazing and you should value my life over the lives of your inferior followers. It's fine. I'll adapt.
There was also a beast woman, Reef Talon, really quite a remarkable creature, actually. She held this place together and kept tempers at bay until fairly recently. She was as worthy a leader as I've ever seen in the wound, but she's no longer with us, so the bickering between Jaspos and Wagstaff continues. Well, I think we've uncovered the plot of this DLC area. Tell me about Jaspos. Look for the broad-shouldered man. Look for the broad-shouldered man with a booming voice. He's almost taking out his frustration on some poor rock or boulder just there by his forge. He points northwest towards a plume of smoke rising from the surrounding walls. Jaspos and his two apprentices arrived some time after Wagstaff. I think we worried he'd be a true loyalist and demand we surrender to Kairos, but he's taken to shine to this place and is trying to create his own little corner of Taratus. I think he likes the seclusion and being surrounded by a variety of rock types. He built most of the bridges you see here, some cisterns to filter water. He's a one-man work crew, and he knows it, unfortunately. He has more than a few supporters, particularly since he created these purifying aquifers. The water here causes illness. Without his help, most of us wouldn't have enough clean water to drink. I'd like to know more about Wagstaff. He chuckles, his lips pressed together in a slight knowing smile. Prickly old fellow, Wagstaff. One of the last tidecasters in the tiers, I believe. His eyes widen in sudden realization. He's kind of enemies to Kairos, true, but I'm certain he has no personal designs against the Overlord Fatebinder. Had you told me another caster is lurking in the tiers, Wagstaff wouldn't have been my first guess, but I'm not fully surprised. Not wholly surprised either. He insisted the Exodus was a foolish, cowardly plan, at least he's sticking to his convictions on the matter. He's not one for pleasantries or charisma of any sort, but he's a master of his craft. He was the first to treat the toxic waters in the old walls, and to date, it's the only cure that works. The wound would be in a bad shape without it. Give him some time and you might see beyond the gruff exterior. Just know that he prefers the solitude of his pools, so don't head over there unless you're willing to suffer his glare. The beast woman was in charge, that is a bit unusual. Indeed, but Reef Talon is a most unusual beast. She is not like most beasts. Mel coughs nervously, shuffling slowly away from kills in shadow. Sage smells just like every other human kills in shadow has ever met. Anyway, Reef Talon was able to organize beasts and humans into effective patrols against the Bane. With her in charge of defense, casualties dropped, no Bane ever slipped into the common area, and disputes between beasts all but disappeared. At a certain point, it seemed foolish not to have her in charge. I had a few beastmen wander into our refuge, and I don't know how or why, but life here changes them. I don't know if it's the Bane, something in the water, or something about the magics of this place. After a span or two of living with us, most beastmen seem to just become a bit more civilized, relaxed. Maybe speak to some of our beastmen, perhaps you'll agree. What happened to Reef Talon? Reef Talon was our bulwark against not only the Bane, but death itself. She had a mystic gift, or so we thought. Her touch brought everyone, the wounded, the sick, the dying, back from the edge, but it changed them. Curse wasn't noticeable at first, but seemingly without fail, those healed would slowly but surely stop sleeping. A minor malady at first, but a cumulative one. As days and weeks go on, they lose themselves. Depression, malaise, paranoia, unending onto itself. My master, Maxine, was treated by Reef Talon, and in her case, she's lost her ability to work magic. Between us and some disputes about whether it's proper for a beastwoman to lead humans, resulted in Reef Talon leaving the wound, disappearing into the depths of the old walls. Many of the sleepless followed. The sleepless that left haven't returned, so it's hard to be optimistic about any of this. That's an unusual power. Can't say I've ever heard of a beastman mystic that does such things. I regret not being a better student of beastman magics, but I concur this is most unusual. Stranger still, but Reef Talon did not boast about being a mystic, and beasts are nothing if not boastful. I have a hypothesis. Perhaps she slew so many Bane that her sickly powers have soaked into her very touch. He shrugs, letting out a very long sigh. It's just speculation. All I know for sure is that scores of lives were inadvertently ruined by her healing gift, and folks here have some complicated feelings toward Reef Talon. He pauses in thought, nervously rolling a quill between his fingers. None have recovered, unfortunately. The end result appears to be inevitable. Still, I can't help but wonder if Reef Talon could have corrected this. It's a shame. You should know, Fatebinder, that there are a small number of people who have been treated by Reef Talon that haven't fully lost their grip on things. Just was his apprentice, nicely. For one, it is, though, just a matter of time until the worst sets in. Speak of other matters. Is there anything I can help you with? I have questions about the wound and its history. The analysis and creation of historical documents was one of my chief areas of focus at the Citadel, and I've had time to acquaint myself with the particulars of this place, so I suppose I'm the person to ask. That's a lot of information. All right. How did everyone get here? This place was discovered 3 years ago by braver and more adventurous souls and Master Lexem and I, relative newcomers coming on about a year at this point. When Cairn smashed Vostrom Vorus's manor, his supporters fled into the cracked mountainside and discovered this place. At the time, life here grew with the Bane sounded better than life at war with the Archons. From there, the settlement grew in spurts. We are far off the beaten path, so visitors are rare, but the few we've gotten have often made this place home. Not every encounter with the outside has been positive. When some disfavored found us, things got ugly fast, but the bloodshed was limited, and survivors joined us in the end, if a bit reluctantly. What do you know about this place? Remarkable place, is it not? He stretches his arms apart, looking around for emphasis. We've no idea how old this corner of the old walls happens to be. But the tunnel leading into it came into being a few years ago. Cain's fury was unleashed in a battle on the top side. Whatever powers he used split under the mountains and fractured these old walls. He points upward, past the crashing waterfalls and toward the exposed sky. The divided walls flare outward, a giant maw stretched across the firmament. Stretched towards the firmament. Cracked the whole damn old walls in half, and now sunlight and water are here for the first time since ever. Makes me wonder if there are other old walls like this that are hidden from view of those just walking the surface. How do you survive in this place? What do you eat? We get enough sunlight to cultivate crops on the upper levels, cabbage, nash root, radishes, mushrooms even. The biggest challenge here is drinking water despite appearances. He leans forward while speaking, his tone energetic. It's a rather interesting phenomenon, actually. Something in the old walls environment leaches into the water and corrupts it, producing a most curious disease in the afflicted. There's no fever or chills, bleeding, or vomiting or what have you, but you will waste away over time, as if one were starving. Tidecaster Wagstaff devised a method to magically treat the water, rendering it safe to consume, and with curative properties for those already sick. The solution is a bit slow at making large amounts, but fortunately Jaspos constructed some stone aquifers. Water poured into these aquifers will drain a few hours later and emerge purified. Between contributions, we're able to make the wound a proper home, so long as the two keep their squabbling to a minimum. Did the Bane not threaten you? He nods, absentmindedly rubbing the dried ink between his fingers. Yes, of course, but we have a system for that. You've met our greeting party in the caves, I think. Incidentally, what happened to... He shakes his head, dismissing the thought. It doesn't matter. The point is that we have a contingent of beastmen with us. They've adapted exceedingly well to the old walls and show little fear of the dominations. They've been perfectly eager to dig their claws into any that come our way. Surprising that even works, by the way, but who am I to argue? At any rate, they keep the entry points to the wound clear, and they seem content to keep doing so. In fact, I dare say some of them have even come to love hunting the Bane, or just have a death wish, and that's why they volunteer for patrol day after day. What do Wagstaff and Jaspos argue about? Few things that matter. Do not mean to belittle these men, but I often feel like they both demand exaltation and, more importantly, want whatever adoration someone else is getting. He clears his throat, turning red with a smile. Through their magic, they make life possible here, and we all look up to them. I think they both feel a genuine sense of duty to protect us all. Too bad they don't get along, despite the shared goal. Talk to them directly. You'll see what I mean. And keep in mind, things weren't always like this. The Beastwoman Reef Talon had a way of keeping things civil, but since her disappearance, all grievances have re-emerged. Farewell. Ah, very well, Fate Pointer. If you haven't done so yet, please speak with Jaspos or Wagstaff. The wound doesn't speak with a simple voice, but these two come the closest to such a thing. As he turned to leave, you see Elantry lost in thought, rubbing his cerulean ink between his fingers and thumb. Guess one of your old friends is here. What should we expect? She's an old friend of mine, and by now you've already detected the understatement in my voice, so ask her questions. An old love interest, I presume. You presume correctly. We were deeply intimate for the better part of 15 years. The school gave up long ago trying to make rules against fraternization, and, well, we took full advantage of living in the modern era of the School of Ink and Quill, when the sages could do away whatever furtive copulation and the foolish attempts to curb the natural inclination of scholars to rut. It was her magic I loved the most. She was gifted, truly gifted. She could achieve these little accents on her spells that none of us could replicate. First, I had nothing but envy and hate for her, but somewhere along the line, it became adoration. I just hoped Akara had ever rubbed up against her, or maybe some of her talent would rub off onto me. No such luck. What do you want to know? If you were so close, why didn't you flee the Citadel together? There was a time when we were inseparable. I learned much of my magic from her, and her from me. We are each other's mentor and student. It is a very special sort of bond. But it was a relationship I fouled to my own convictions. In the years before Kyrus' conquest, I urged our school to surrender, and urge is an understatement. Rabidly advocated would be a more apt description. Lexem did not share my assessment of Kyrus or my opinions of what should be done. I was in the dissenting minority, and Almost felt I was a traitor, like Sam included. But it wasn't about to back off from my belief that surrender was the right idea. Just considering what came to pass, I feel justified in my stance. While I normally adore being right about things, in this particular case, my tumescent smugness perhaps isn't worth the friendships it all cost me. What did you make of her condition? From the sound of it, she was afflicted with sleeplessness, and by all accounts, madness would naturally follow. But if she's down in the old walls and enfeebled, she'd be easy prey for the Bane. I assure you, whatever struck her, I won't let it happen to you. I doubt that you can make that promise, but thanks all the same. Of such a state afflicted me. After I tire of writing without pause for days on end, I'd ask that you put me out of my misery. Deal! Come to think of it, you look a little off. Lantry, quick, fall asleep at once, or I'll have to assume it's time to euthanize you. Forget it. If I become sleepless for all time, leave me at a brothel to die in the company of a less troublesome woman. So you two worked on the Chronicle together. We are but two members of a team spanning generations, but yes, we both contributed to the Chronicles, long bouts of field work and longer stretches of altering our findings due to our temperaments. Our colleagues insisted original research was a way to make a name for myself, but the accounting of everything is a cause greater than us all. Like Sam saw the Chronicle as a half record of things that were and a half record of things that ought to be. Each moment we record offers universal insights into how people will act in the future. I take the more modest stance that if you can't stand in the same room twice, the same general can't fight the same war twice, the history is of limited predictive power. Forgive me, you didn't ask the nuances of our philosophical debates. What do you make of these Chronicle fragments she tasked us to find? My heart sings every time I can safeguard a text against destruction. Still, there is something bothering me about these writings. Let's look around a bit more, shall we? I'll screen again when I have a few pieces to compare. Whoa! That's a lot of lore. Jesus. The ones who ran away. A fate binder. Gracious, did you come for... you'll want to speak to Master Jaspers. He's
Well,
northeast
they
of
have
here.
water, a little sunlight. A shame the neighbors are floating abominations.
They're certainly trying to make this place livable. It's certainly more welcoming than most of Stalwart.
Trespassers shameless in their cowardice. They sicken me.
Scent of Bane is distant. Beasts and humans have tamed corridors as nest. Impressive.
Sure, let's just set up a little
I
village
see
in
the
the old walls.
Tidecaster's
Why
made himself
not?
at home in these
There
flooded
is a
halls.
certain
The really vain
decaying beauty
Tidecasters
to it.
always have nice reflecting pools.
Do you hear that too?
Mine was bigger.
Smells of oceans here, not like other waters. Strange, like everything here.
The water sounds calmer here, and yet as deep as the sea.
Hey, over there.
Yoink. Kyrus's eyes don't fall here, Fate Binder. Why'd you even come here? Wound can protect priest women and humans. A weary-looking man observes you through dark, sunken eyes, nodding faintly as you approach. Fate Binder, greetings to you. Though unkempt and draped in disheveled rags, he bows deeply in the style of northern tiers of nobility. You observe that his right arm is emaciated and frail, seemingly rooted in place. Rostrum Link, son of the late Rostrum Volus. I saw in the Bastard City shortly after Tunan's arrival. We've come a long way from then, haven't we? He chuckles mirthlessly at memory. You want to speak to Waxelf or Jaspers before you get too settled in. The former's down by the falls, the latter is up in his forge north hall. We gotta talk to one or both of them before we do
Sorry, I can't.
anything else, apparently.
Oh, have a look here.
We leveled up. A Bane! That's good, but like,
They seem to have a plan for dealing with the Bane, provided only a few come through at a time.
I doubt the Bane care much for day versus night. Guarding this place must require constant vigilance.
Humans are wise to follow while beasts lead the hunt. Very wise.
Bane slaying almost to an art. Paint me impressed. But what was that they come out of?
And they have a hole that Bane come out of. This place just gets better by the heartbeat.
Woman in the leathers of a Scarlet Fury attentively polishes a bronze blade.
Sorry, I can't.
Unfortunately, my baby boy is not asleep and may be being kept up by stream sound. You know what that means? I'm probably gonna finish early. Like, maybe because I need to go look after it, maybe because I just need to be quiet. But in any case, I'm really glad we got some baby. Okay. Really glad we got some time to play together at this lovely Sunday evening. Oh, yeah. Give us a moment though. That's right. We needed Voice of Ages. That happens. I'm not particularly like impressed by this. With the baby boys refusing to sleep. Yeah, mine is not seemingly not too concerned about it, and like that's a good sign. But also, come on, man, have a good nap. It's nap o'clock, baby. My baby, my friend. Directed for influential domain. Sultry heat. They're fatigue. Oh, do you have no spells to that? That's ridiculous. Can she not learn spells at all? Maybe let's go. Now she can. Like they. It was a little sad, that's for sure. To word decay. That's cool. Because I'm essentially gonna give her all of the like debuff spells. Cyclical energies, doesn't need to interrupt. Marking is gonna help. Range? That'll do. Update. Withering cloud. Duration. Range for that one because it starts at touch. Accuracy, so they're hard to resist. We have debuffs now. Like, it's the reading out of things, the voicing. False pit. That's funny. Oh, you're falling. What? These are the ones Monhas has. He has the illusions. Mischievous pass. Jeez, okay. Yeah, serene. There to come mess with everyone. Brave light, let's force. Frost, lightning. Honestly, she should have more emotions than illusion. Taunting them to attack. That's good. Greek. Okay, we may be saving and finishing here. Look, friendos, thank you very much for joining me on this lovely, lovely Sunday evening playing a bit of Tyranny. It has been highly enjoyable, and I hope you join me again very soon. If all goes well, and I believe it will, this Wednesday is a Kingdom Hearts evening, and you will get to see Birth by Sleep with Aqua and Sam. If Sam is not available, I don't have any reason to believe she will be, but if she is, we'll probably play some Final Fantasy 13, maybe catch up on more Tyranny. I will keep you updated. Tartafozy 13? Jesus. Maybe that's just me slurring. In any case, thank you very much for joining me. It has been lovely. I hope you have a lovely evening. And please be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. Happy Easter if you celebrate that. Happy 2 public holidays if you don't. And please tell those people you love that you love them very much, okay? A special shout out to our good friends Cleric and Wheeler who are going away to festival. We need to be kind to them while they're on holiday, alright? Don't send them too much bullshit for it to all hit their phone at once when they turn them back on all at once. You know? Get 30 notifications all full of bullshit? Like, make it 15 at max. Right?